In the summer of 2026, France recorded its hottest day ever measured. Then it broke that record again. The very next day, Hungary hit 40.7 degrees Celsius. Poland and the Czech Republic broke temperature records that had stood for decades. In parts of Germany, the temperature at night, not during the day, at night, never dropped below 29 degrees. This wasn't a freak heat wave. It was the third major heat event to hit Europe in 3 months. And by the time you finish watching this video, you'll understand exactly why that matters, not just for this summer, but for every summer after it. Let's start with what actually happened, because the scale of this is easy to underestimate if you weren't there. According to the European Union's Copernicus Climate Change Service, June 2026 was the hottest June ever recorded in Western Europe, and the second warmest June on record globally. The average temperature across Western Europe hit 20.74 degrees Celsius, which is 3.05 degrees above the 1991-2020 average. That doesn't sound dramatic until you realize this broke the previous record, which was set just 1 year earlier in June 2025. Globally, June 2026 came in at 1.39 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Now look at individual countries, because the national records are where this gets serious. France hit an average national temperature of 30.0 degrees on June 24th, its hottest day on record, beating the record set the day before. The United Kingdom broke its June temperature record 3 days in a row, eventually reaching 37.3 degrees Celsius in the south. Hungary recorded 40.7 degrees near Budapest on June 28th. Austria hit a new June record of 40.0 degrees Celsius in Vienna, with a red heat alert in effect for the capital. Poland and the Czech Republic both recorded new all-time national temperature records, provisionally 40.5 degrees Celsius in Poland, and in East Saxony, Germany, a weather station recorded an overnight low of 29.4 degrees Celsius. Germany's National Weather Service called this heatwave historic. And that's not a word meteorologists use casually. This didn't come out of nowhere either. Earlier in the year, a heat wave that started May 22nd already broke springtime temperature records across Spain, the UK, Germany, France and Ireland, with Mora, Portugal hitting 40.3 degrees Celsius on May 27th, the earliest date that temperature has ever been recorded in the country. So by the time the June heatwave hit, Europe wasn't recovering from a hot spell. It was stacking one record-breaking event on top of another. Europe isn't just experiencing climate change like the rest of the world, it's experiencing it faster. According to Copernicus data cited by Fortune, European temperatures have risen around 2.4 degrees Celsius over just the past 5 years, almost double the global average rate of warming. That makes Europe the fastest warming continent on Earth. John Kennedy, head of climate information at the World Meteorological Organization, put this in historical context. In the 50 years since the historic 1976 heat wave, Europe as a whole has warmed by around 2 degrees Celsius. Both the average temperature and the extremes have been climbing. But why Europe specifically? Scientists point to a few overlapping reasons. Europe borders the Arctic, which is warming faster than almost anywhere else on the planet, and that proximity drags European temperatures up with it. Researchers have also pointed to an unexpected factor: Europe's own success in cutting air pollution. Stricter regulations have reduced the aerosols in the atmosphere that used to reflect some sunlight back into space, meaning cleaner air is, ironically, letting more solar radiation reach the surface. And it's not just the land. Copernicus also recorded the highest sea surface temperatures ever measured for the month of June, narrowly breaking the previous record set in 2024. Marine heat waves spread across the Western Mediterranean and along the Atlantic coastline. Samantha Burgess, ECMWF's strategic lead for climate, described this as a climate system that is continuing to accumulate heat, with the ocean holding onto that warmth and feeding it back into future heat waves. That combination, a warming Arctic next door, cleaner air letting in more sun, and an ocean that won't cool back down, is a big part of why Europe keeps setting records that outpace the rest of the world. Behind every temperature record is a death toll, and this year's numbers are severe. By late June, the World Health Organization's Director General announced that Europe had already recorded more than 1,300 heat-related deaths since the start of the month. In France specifically, Premier Minister Sébastien Lecornu reported that dozens of people drowned in a single week in June. people trying to cool off in rivers and canals as temperatures climbed into the triple digits Fahrenheit. This tracks with a pattern that's become disturbingly consistent. A 2025 study published in Nature Medicine found that the 2024 European heatwave season alone caused more than 62,700 heat-related deaths. The 2025 season saw an estimated 14,500 to 16,500 deaths. Early tracking for 2026 puts this year on a similarly severe trajectory, with independent climate risk analysis estimating the toll had passed 10,000 by mid-July. These aren't abstract numbers. The people most at risk are consistently the elderly, young children, and outdoor workers, the people with the least ability to escape the heat, not the least exposure to it. Heat doesn't just cost lives. It costs money, and in 2026, it's costing a lot of it. In Spain alone, this year's wildfire season has already cost between 1.7 and 3.3 billion euros in firefighting operations, according to Euronews, even though the total area burned this year is actually about half of what burned in 2025. In southern France, wildfires burned through more than 11,000 acres and forced roughly 10,000 evacuations by late June. Zoom out, and the picture gets bigger. Research cited by Euronews found that in southern European regions hit by large wildfires, annual GDP growth drops by roughly 0.1 to 0.2 percentage points, and in the worst years, cumulative economic losses in those regions can reach 3 to nearly 5%. Agriculture is taking a direct hit too. Repeated heat waves and drought have scorched crops and reduced yields across southern and western Europe. The European Central Bank has previously estimated that a single major drought year can add nearly a full percentage point to EU food inflation, meaning the heat you're watching on the news eventually shows up on your grocery receipt, wherever you live. And looking ahead, insurance giant Allianz projects that Europe's largest economies could see a combined loss of up to $638 billion by 2030 due to extreme heat, with France, Spain, and Italy expected to be hit hardest. Rail lines buckling in the heat, roads failing, power grids straining under record air conditioning demand. None of this is hypothetical anymore. It's a running bill. So is this a one-off summer or the new normal? According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, extreme heat is expected to keep increasing in frequency, intensity, and duration as the climate continues to change. Copernicus scientists made a similar point after June 2026. This wasn't an isolated spike. It was the third heat wave in a stretch spanning May through July, one heat event ending just as another began forming. That succession is the real story here. Europe isn't dealing with one hot summer that will fade into memory. It's dealing with a pattern where each year's baseline keeps climbing, and what counted as an extreme heat wave a decade ago is starting to look like an ordinary summer today. Here's the takeaway. In 2026, Europe didn't just have a hot summer. It broke national all-time temperature records in at least 5 countries, recorded its hottest June ever measured, and saw a death toll and economic bill that both rank among the worst on record. And the data says this isn't a peak, it's a trend line. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe for more deep dives into the numbers behind the headlines, and let me know in the comments which countries' numbers surprised you the most.